Yes.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, Tay.
How you doing?
Oh, just swimmingly well on this wonderful...
It's Monday.
Damn, I was going to say Tuesday.
No, it's a Monday today. All day. It
All
was
day.
Monday.
I say that, but I really didn't have much to do today.
No, so I think because of the holiday weekend, I had one 30-minute phone call this morning, and then I don't have any more meetings this week.
Wow.
Which is both great and terrible, because when I'm in the office and I don't have meetings, it's almost like
pulling fucking teeth out of your head because it's miserable.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I can't read because I'm in the office.
Correct.
And yes, obviously I have work to get done, but
it's like light work. It's almost like I always say if you stay on top of your stuff, there's days that you can just
coast.
Yes, you just deal with the immediate issues that arise.
Yes,
which is a lovely feeling when you get to that spot.
No, right now I have 2 unread emails in my inbox, and yes, I am working on other things, but nothing that's super urgent.
Yeah,
and I have daily tasks that I have to do, or I guess weekly tasks that I have to do every week. But if I was home, I could have cranked out. I'm almost I take more time when I'm in the office because I'm trying to prolong.
Yeah. Well, because there's nothing worse than being done with everything you need to do and then looking at the clock and being wow, I still have 5 more hours of sitting in this office right now.
Yeah.
You might as well spread it out. Whereas when I'm home, I'll literally wake up, bang as much shit out as humanly possible and kind of chill throughout the day, which helps because I feel a lot of my stuff for being in healthcare, a lot of my issues don't just populate always in the morning. They come after users are using our technology, and then it's oh shit, this popped up and it's can you help me? And I can be actually, yeah, I can. I have the time.
Yeah, see, I have the opposite. So I work with Europe.
Yeah.
So in the mornings, I always have a lot of emails because they've been working for 6 hours by the time I get in. And just Katie glanced down at her watch and roll her eyes. So if I had a question for them today, but I emailed them at 11 a.m. and they're home for the day. So I typically the mornings are catching up on everything from, I call it last night, but it's really just 1 a.m. From whenever they get into the office, and then the afternoons are really dead for the most part, which that's typically when I catch up on my other work.
Mm-hmm.
But every first of all, it's August, so everybody in Europe's been on vacation.
That's true.
Everybody in the US this week is on vacation because Labor Day is coming up. Half my team is out.
Yeah, I would say a lot of my people are too.
Between this week and next week, it's there was 3 people in the office today. So yeah, and I get in the office by 7 a.m. So by noon, I've already been working for 5 hours.
That was the
so I feel I'm
thing.
Done.
Yeah, when I used to get to the office at 6:30, I was noon. I'm bitch, I've been here, done that. I'm done. I'm over it. That's our work days. Not that we're here to talk about our work days, but
yeah,
I will say I was able to finish Foxglove today on audio, which was phenomenal. Fucking incredible.
I do need to buy it.
I am so upset though. So I don't own the US edition of Belladonna. I own the UK edition. So cutesy little me went on to Amazon UK and I was let me pre-order the paperback.
Oh, it's probably
it's
next
fucking
year.
Hardcover. Yeah, the only thing available right now is hardcover. I'm but I want to own it.
A lot of those. So I remember, I'm trying to think of what book it was that I bought. It was a YA novel. No, okay, it was Dance of Thieves. When I was reading Dance of Thieves, I wanted to own it. It was out on paperback. But what's the second one?
Vow of
Thieves.
Yeah.
That one was only out on hardcover. And could I have bought, I think at my Barnes Noble they only had paperback Dance of Thieves and then hardcover Vow of Thieves. And so I went to pre-order the paperback Vow of Thieves, but it wasn't coming out for another 7 months. Okay, ACOTAR, Court of Silver Flames, it only came out on hardcover at first. We had to wait until what, this year?
Last year?
Last year, was it?
Something like that. It was recent.
Last year. It was last year. To get the paperback version. They do that a lot.
Yeah.
Same thing with Happy Place.
You know what thing is frustrating? And I don't know if anyone else suffers from this. I physically need them though. So now I'm over here thinking, well, do I need to buy the US versions as well just to have them?
I mean,
I don't need to do that. But in my mind, I'm like, but I need to. You know?
Yeah. I like the US covers. I actually was looking at the
They're
UK
pretty,
covers.
but I think the UK covers are cool too.
I've only ordered, I think, 2 things from Amazon UK. But I have a bunch of stuff in my cart. But I don't think I'm going to order it because I really don't have room on my shelves right now. Because I have, okay.
Yeah, I'm like getting packed.
We are going to talk about Unravel Me, but we're just going to chit chat for a minute first. Okay. I love, obviously, Once Upon a Broken Heart. And I have
the
exclusive, I have the exclusive Barnes Noble editions for the first 2. So obviously I need to get the third one. And they're all and they're signed. So I'm like, great. But the UK versions are so fucking nice. The paperbacks are really, really nice too. Because I'm like, all right, do I need like the hardcovers too? No, I can just get the paperbacks. And they're pretty inexpensive. They're like €9 or maybe like $12. Obviously plus shipping. But I don't think I need 2 copies of those books. Like I like the special edition hardcovers. Maybe one day when I have more room, but I don't know where I would display them.
I literally the other day was like looking around, like, where do
I told Gil that I want to get another shelf in my office. It can go right next to my desk, and it would be all like special edition covers.
I think it's a good idea.
Not that I have that many right now, or even just like books that are just like prettier than like a cartoon cover book.
I hear that. I'm with you.
Yeah. And he's like, where are you going to put that shelf? And I said, right here.
Cool.
Idiot. Anyway, now we're getting divorced because, no, I'm just kidding.
Because he won't let me have another shelf.
He won't let me have another shelf. Anyway.
Yeah, I have no room for shelves here.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't.
I literally have nothing. The only thing I could do is maybe in my bedroom.
Yeah.
But, like, no.
And also, like, you're in an apartment, like, I feel like they'd all have to be hanging shelves.
They would have to.
Then you, like, when you move out next year, you're going to have to patch everything up.
I can't be bothered.
No.
I really can't be bothered. When I buy a house, then I will have the bookshelves of my dreams. Because I will enlist my father-in-law and husband to build them.
And I'll just watch.
Yes, done.
Katie and I will watch with...
And go shopping.
Yeah. I'll just pop up in, like, a bottle of wine and be like, oh, you guys are doing such great work.
Little to the left, please.
Actually, it looks a little crooked. Can you just bring it down a little bit on the right? Actually, no. It was fine before.
We'll be back.
It was perfect. It was perfect the first time. Anyway, Unravel Me.
Unravel Me. That's what we're here for.
Just another hockey romance that I made Katie read, but it's book 3.
You didn't make me read it.
I know.
I actually volunteered.
You did. I'm just kidding. Take a joke.
I fully support the hockey romance.
Yeah. It's book 3, and Becka Mack's Playing for Keeps series. So Consider Me is book 1. That's Carter Beckett. Book 2 is not playing, just Play With Me. Garrett Anderson, who is like the love. I love Garrett so much.
He's a good one.
I
liked their story the best.
His Play With Me is like far and wide my favorite. I loved Garrett and Olivia. I think that it could have just...
Carter and Olivia?
What did I say, Garrett?
Yeah.
Honestly, the man's always on my mind. I love Carter and Olivia. I actually read it on my honeymoon last August. And no one from my job listens to this. I was on my honeymoon.
Do you know that for sure?
No. But if you do work with me or the police, don't listen. I was in a different country. You can't do anything. I was in Greece on my honeymoon. We were at like a day. I don't even want to call it a day club. Just like relaxing mostly. I was obviously reading, so it wasn't like a club. You know what I mean? But like Gil and I like dabbled in a little bit of mushrooms, and I was like, I cannot put this book down.
I must finish this.
I had to finish it, and I thought it was like hilarious, which the book is really funny. Looking back, and I did do a reread on the audio. The audio is actually really good.
The audio is good. Both audiobooks are good.
There were like parts that I was like, okay, like it seemed a little long. And I think with Unravel Me, she definitely edited it down more than the other
she
two.
listened to people.
Yeah.
She definitely, I feel like, edited it down a bit more.
And I know that she's been working on Unravel Me for like a long time, and she got pregnant and then she had her baby. So people were like ravenous for it. And she was like,
I love that for her.
Yes. And she was like waiting to put it out until it was, you know, perfect for her. So I'm happy about it though, because I feel like sometimes, especially a lot of these, I don't want to say it's just like hockey romances, but like a lot of these indie authors started out writing like Wattpad, like fanfic.
Yeah.
I don't want, not fanfic, but you know what I'm saying. And I feel like in that format, they are like longer.
Mm-hmm.
But when you publish them into books, like obviously I think it helps to edit them down a little bit.
Agreed.
Especially because it's a hockey romance. Like it should not be an 800-page book.
Agreed. I think like for certain things, a contemporary or a rom-com, I guess, could be a little long. But like, I think there has to be but I think it has to be done right, or like, but in reality, like 800 pages, no. Like,
no.
I just read a
I'm
contemporary.
not. None of her books have been 800 pages. I'm just saying, like in general, I feel like sometimes, and this is like even published people, like published authors though too. Like they write and write and write, and most romances are like character driven.
Yeah.
So when there's like not much plot and it's like all about the relationship, it's like unless like
so much you can keep.
Yeah, like with. Unless you keep, I guess, like causing like issues in the relationship or like putting barriers up or drama, then like there's no reason for them to be that long. Like even Icebreaker, which I love, like Icebreaker really was a little too long.
Yeah. And
I'm curious to see how Wildfire is, because now she has a publisher. If it'll be like cut down or like condensed a little bit. Like another, I mean, again, I know Katie hasn't read them, but the Boys of Tommen series, those books are so long, and I'm not complaining because the story that's being told deserves that much.
See, sometimes
like,
it has to be,
like they need to be like 600 plus pages. It's the story needs it, but she has been picked up by a publisher, so far each couple has gotten 2 books, but the next couple is only going to get 1, and she's like come out being like, okay, originally Gibbsy and Claire were going to get 2 books. It's only going to be 1 book, but like, don't worry, I'm going to like tell their story and I'm going to do it justice. But I think like when you go into more traditional publishing, they took it from a 2 book, which could be 1,200 pages, down to 1, which maybe would probably be, I'm assuming, like between 500 and 600. But like even, I don't know, even like an author like Emily Henry, which we love, if she was like, I'm writing a 500-page book, I'd be like, are you? Like, do we need it?
Sure.
No. Most romances don't need it.
I don't think many romances need it.
Anyway, I don't know how I got off on that tangent.
I don't know either. We always say this. We're in rare form today, but I feel you know what it is too? I feel like we haven't had like a big book I say we haven't talked about books, but we definitely talked last week, but like we need more than one.
We talk every week about books.
We do. We also talk daily.
We also do talk daily, and we also talk for like 40 minutes before we start recording.
So you'd think we'd shut the fuck up, but we just don't.
Never. Anyway, so Unravel Me is book 3 in Becka Mack's Playing for Keeps series. It follows Adam, who is introduced obviously in the first 2 books. He is the team goalie for the Vancouver Vipers. He's best friends with Carter and Garrett and Emmett. I love Emmett.
He's a little cute.
And Jackson, who I think might be my favorite. I'm going to wait and see until he's written. But I feel like he's what we've gotten from Jackson so far, and we got a lot more of Jackson in this book than we have in the past. So in Consider Me, he's not even on the team yet. He gets traded to the team and Play With Me, and the boys kind of like adopt him like into their friend group. So we get the most of him in Unravel Me. And I think that he's like a combo of like all of the guys, kind of. Like he's a little bit Garrett, a little bit Carter. He's like a playboy, bad boy. I don't know. I just feel like he's like more my type. Adam is like super sweet. He's always gotten along.
He is the golden retriever.
Yeah, like he's
golden
retriever. Like the group text, like with the wives and girlfriends. Like he's going to brunch with the girls. Like they all call him like
Dad.
Yeah, like, and they're like, he's just like the sweet, lovable Adam. And in book 1, in Consider Me, he is like cheated on pretty brutally by his like high school girlfriend, long-term girlfriend. He comes home finds her with another man in their bed. And she's like kind of the worst person.
She's the literal.
Like she's the human embodiment of Satan. She tries to get with Carter and consider me. Then she tries to blackmail him. And like forces him basically to make it look like he's cheating on Olivia with her. She is like, it's like kind of revenge porn. She steals Carter's phone, takes like intimate photos that him and Olivia have taken, and blackmails him with it. So pretty terrible as a person. And a lot of this book is like Adam dealing with the trauma that he went through from that relationship, her still sneaking in and she tries to pretend that they got together and that he was too drunk to remember and that she's pregnant with his baby. Meanwhile, she's pregnant with somebody else's. But by the end of the story, she's gone. Adam meets Rosie, who is a vet tech. I guess she's like in veterinary school. And they meet hiking. They're both out for hikes with his dog Bear and with one of the dogs that is in the
shelter that she
works at. Thank you.
Hugs? Piglet.
I was like, it's not a pug. I think it's like a German
Shepherd. I know. Like I was trying to think of the name. I was like, is it Pugsley? That's Adam's family.
Piglet is the dog. Anyway, they meet on this hike. It's like very insta love. Very.
Okay. So I was reading a lot of the reviews after I finished this. And a lot of people complained about the insta-love. I'm not a big fan of insta-love either.
No.
Like, it is not my favorite. And the main complaints were the insta-love and how much that Rosie cries. So I will say, though, because of what you learn, I guess I could have gone two different ways. Like, they're both dealing with past traumas. Like, they have a lot of baggage individually.
Yes.
So I think it's either, in that scenario, they could have either taken their sweet time finding one another and, like, trusting the love and, like, the relationship because of what has happened to them in the past. Yeah. Or because they crave it so badly that they jump head first. So I think what Becka did made sense.
I was going to say
what she was going for.
Like, I agree because I'm not an insta-love person, but I think it makes sense for the characters to like look for family like with each other.
Yes.
And like, yes, Adam was adopted and he has amazing parents and he has this found family with his teammates. But I think that he's like longing for this stable relationship with somebody. Like he wants a family of his own. And Rosie, and that's not why they're not together just because Rosie has like an instant family because she's a single mom. But I think like it kind of forces it to be a little bit more insta than if it was a slow burn.
Agreed. And like same with Rosie, like she's lost her parents very young. Like there's trauma because of that and like because of how they passed and like how she almost died as well. Then like she's completely like not at all cared for by her ex. She only has two friends, which are her roommates. So she's got literally no one. So again, like, and all she wants is stability for herself and her son.
Yeah.
And someone to like, she wants to be picked first. And like, someone is finally picking her. So like, I really do think it makes sense.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about Rosie crying. It's a lot.
It is a lot. And but as somebody who's not a crier, I was like, not again.
Okay. I will say the only reasons why I was trying to like put like my big girl glasses on. Cause I was like, okay, I'm getting really fucking annoyed too. Cause I cry out of frustration. Same. And I will say I've gotten a little bit more emotional since having a kid, but again, no one to back her up. She only has two friends. She's clearly not stable enough to live on her own. She just got like, so she's just getting like punched in the face every direction that she turns. Like lost her grant for school. Her ex is a fucking piece of shit. We'll talk about that next.
Yeah. Oh my God, I know.
We will have to talk about. But you know, I'm trying to like wrap. And then she's the baby. The kid's only what? How old is he?
2 or 3.
So you're still dealing with postpartum hormones.
I was gonna say yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm trying to like be a mature adult and like step back for 2 seconds, and instead of being like, this is how I feel about this, I was like, I can understand big picture why she would cry so much.
Yes. I'm also like, this is why I need therapy. Like, I'm not a big big declarations of like love kind of person. Like I have said it before, like that the most embarrassing day of my life was my wedding because now everybody knows that I love my husband. It's a joke. I loved my wedding. It was not embarrassing for me at all. But like that's the kind of
but
like,
that's you're conveying how like I don't need I
refuse, like we refuse to do our own vow. I was like, nobody needs to know how much I care about you. Like
your love language isn't that. Like
me
it's
marrying,
not words of affirmation. It's something different.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way too.
I need words of affirmation, but like one-on-one. Like I don't want him to be nice to me in front of other people. I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like they are like always having these like big declaring moments, even when it's just like the two of them, like they're constantly like talking about their feelings. And like if I could never date somebody like that because I would be like,
shut the fuck up. Or just like, okay, I heard you. Is there something that you're doing behind my back? Because you have to keep telling me this. Like that's where my mind would go.
Right, that too. I was gonna say, like, I feel like a lot of times, and again, they weren't on social media declaring their love, but like a lot of times when you see those couples who are like always like so like over the top with how much they love each other, they're normally the most like unstable couples.
Yeah.
Not that I think Adam and Rosie were unstable, but it gives that vibe, at least to me, like based on like my own personal mental blocks that I have.
I think the only thing that honestly bothered me about this book was the baby daddy. I don't know what he is, ex-boyfriend. Like it's one thing that if I think an ex was saying degrading things to me, but if you're going to start neglecting my child and my kid, like to the point where like they're inconsolable because they do not want to go to their dad, I would be like, then my kid's not going to you.
See, like again, the dad obviously didn't fight for custody, but like when she found out that Connor was at his dad's alone in the apartment and the dad was at the bar with his friends, I would have called the police.
Oh, I would have called the police
so that like there could have been
proof.
Yes. And that would have been like enough to take custody. And there was no way that this man was going to fight anyway. Like
no, he didn't want him.
Right.
He did not want this kid.
No.
But like case in point, like with everything that was going on after like the first time, like the baby was like left in the pen by himself for hours and he was just crying, or like, why are you bringing him over at this time? I have friends coming over. Like I was like, then you're not seeing my kid. Like you're not seeing the kid. Sorry. Like you didn't want the first time. You're not getting him anymore.
And I get like being, because like her friends were like, no, you have like if he's supposed to have him today, it's his day. Like don't let him walk all over you. Like you have to go drop the baby off. I'm like, yeah. I mean,
yes,
I think
I understand that.
But he wasn't just being like,
he didn't want.
He wasn't being manipulative like with her time, but then taking care of the baby when he had him. He was being a very negligent parent, and that's different than being like manipulative.
Yes.
So like, yes, if his time with the baby is Saturday like morning to Sunday morning, you're not like, and he's saying, oh, don't drop him off until 12 instead of drop him off at 9. That's being manipulative. He like literally was like, oh, I mean, like, yeah, why is he here already? But also he's neglecting the kid. Like that's the bigger issue, is that like he's being a bad parent.
But again, like if my kid was like grabbing me and screaming that they didn't want to go, I'd be like, something's up.
Yeah.
Like what? Then I'm not. But I wouldn't be like, no, you're gonna go. I'd be like, okay, I'll keep the kid today.
Especially because Adam's like, yeah, bring Connor. The man sets up a fucking room in his house.
Yes.
For the baby.
So that was like my one thing that I was like, I do not like this at all.
Like, I did see people saying that they're like, Rosie's like not a good mom because she like keeps like she's not pawning the child off. I think she was young. First of all, she's super young, and like
she's trying to involve the father.
Yes, like she's trying to do the right thing. Apparently, the dad like did kind of like leave for a bit, and then does come back into the picture, and like he says he wants to try, and he's also just like a complete shithead.
Yep.
Also, a young kid. Like I think she's 23.
Yeah,
the 2-year-old. Like, so it's hard to judge her because she is somebody who grew like from a young age, grew up without parents, grew up in foster care.
Yeah.
Never, I mean, like her parents, I think, died when she was like, I want to say 9, but
maybe like 9. I was really going to say 9 too. I'm not even kidding.
Around that age. So it's not like she had parents or parental figures of like, you know, I mean, yes, until she was 9, but you're so young. Like a lot of your memories from that age, I couldn't tell you shit.
Same.
Like Little League softball. Okay. I just don't think she had, even though her friends were super supportive and were willing to watch Connor, I don't think she had like the support. I don't even want to say support. like
it's
the tools,
different.
I think, to like navigate parenthood at such a young age, not having parents, one, to rely on for advice, or to have, like, she didn't have parental figures for like 90% of her life.
Exactly. So yeah, you're just kind of figuring life out by yourself.
Right. And like, yes, Adam was in foster care, but for like
a second.
Yeah, like a year maybe. I think he was like 3 when he went into foster care, and he was adopted kind of like right away by a professional football player and his wife. So like,
and like, but a very supportive, loving family.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying, and a very amazing family. But like, he was too young to remember, I think, any of like the trauma. Not that that doesn't still affect you. I think a lot of things that happen to you that you don't remember from childhood like still play a role in
100%,
who you are today. But he had a very nice life growing up comparatively. And his parents are still so loving and so supportive. Like, he even like makes a joke that like the only time his dad was ever disappointed in him was when he chose hockey over football. And they're like still very involved in his life. And his mom like loves Garrett and sends Garrett care packages. So he had a very different upbringing. Which that was like a point of like contention between the two, right? Like, that she knew he was in foster care but didn't
suffer like she did.
Right. And she was kind of like, she like felt bad, but she was like, I almost like resent him for it because he can't, like, even, we were both in foster care. He was adopted.
Yeah.
And then he lies about what his job is, which understandable.
I kind of understand this though, to a point.
Right. Like, in the beginning, I completely understand. So Adam's whole thing is that like after Courtney cheats on him, he wants to get back out there. He wants to meet somebody. He like wants to fall in love. I find these hockey romances so funny. So hockey in Canada is a way bigger deal.
Yes.
Especially in like certain cities. Like, I remember like there was this guy in the Devils. He played in Edmonton, and when he came to New Jersey, he was like the star of the team. But he was like, nobody cares who I am when I go out.
No.
He was like, in Edmonton, like everybody cared who I was. Like, there was like, news reports about like, it was more of like what the players, if like they're not playing well, then like, oh, are they going out? Like, whatever. Yeah. But there was like kind of like new, but I think it's funny. Like, I don't think that there's paparazzi following any of these guys around.
100% no.
Like, hockey players at most, I don't say at most because I'm trying to think of what the biggest contract was like just signed by Austin Matthews, but like maximum making like maybe $14 million a year, give or take. That's without endorsements. But like, then you have people like football players and
Tom Brady, pulling in how much?
Right, for a season. So like hockey players, as far as like, I feel like there's like the big four, right? Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. That's what I consider the big four, at least in the US. Hockey's like the least popular sport.
Yeah.
So I feel like the players are the most underpaid and like the least popular of like celebrity status.
If I went out with you,
I would know who the Devils were, but I wouldn't know. Like, if I went,
I wouldn't know anybody. Like, no. Like, if
also,
I saw certain basketball players, I'd be like, I know who I can pick you out.
Or you could just be like, that man is a basketball player, just based on like how tall he is, how well he's dressed. We've been to bars with players, and they are not that like they look like just like normal dudes. Honestly, when you see them off the ice, they're not that tall. Like some of them are like 6 something, but like not like
they're like high 5 feet club.
Yeah, like a lot of them are just like 5'11" and like 185 pounds. Like, they just like are like look like normal guys. My friend was in Nashville. Where was the draft? No, sorry, he was in Nashville for a game, and the team that was playing the Predators, they were all like out at a bar, and one of the guys was like a star. I forget who they were playing. This was like last season, but he sent me a picture and he was like, honestly, he's like, I would never know that these guys were athletes. And if like, okay, if you're listening to this, just go look up like Jack Hughes or like Trevor Zegras. They are in their early 20s. A lot of people who like fan cast like college hockey romances, they cast these boys. I call them boys because like they're literal children. They're like 21 and they look like young boys. Like, these are like, so like it's funny. Okay, yeah, like Carter is 28. I think Adam's 26. But like a lot of these guys like off the ice just like look like your everyday run of the mill like normal dude.
So like, they're not being followed.
And like if they are, it's probably like during the, like, again, Adam's not being followed during the summer just like at the park.
No.
Like, maybe during the season, if the team's playing like shit, or if they're all out at a club, like, yes, pictures are taken. I just, like, there's not paparazzi like waiting outside, like, to catch a glimpse of them.
I also think, like, going back to like the like not telling the job thing, like, if I was someone who was loaded, I wouldn't just be like, especially if I was like famous, like, and you didn't recognize me, like, my first thing is not going to be telling you who I am. Because, like, I don't need you to be like, now I'm even more interested because of like the dollar signs.
No, yeah, like that's what I was trying to get at. I'm sorry, I just went off on a tangent. I do this all the time. I was like, what were we talking about? Yeah, no, I don't disagree with him not telling her at first.
But I think at a point you have to, like,
right.
He should have brought it up a couple times and he just didn't.
So he goes on like a bunch of dates. All the girls, even like ones that he like thinks he's gonna like, they kind of like present themselves differently, and then once he gets to kind of like know them, or they find out who he is, they're like very interested in like status and his money and all that stuff. And again, there are a lot of people like that, so I
100%.
completely understand, and I think it's worse in a city. Yeah, it is. Like, I feel like if you go to maybe Columbus, Ohio, you're not gonna have the same issues that you do in Vancouver as a hockey player. No offense to anybody in Columbus. Just different.
It's very different.
It's just different. So I understand at first, like when they first, and they met kind of like, they didn't meet on a dating app.
It was very natural.
Yeah, they met very organically.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
So I think like it would have been weird for him to just be like, oh yeah, by the way, do you know who I am? I'm a goalie for the Vancouver Vipers.
I'd be like, wow, you're a cocky motherfucker. Goodbye.
Right. But then it comes up on one of the dates, like, what do you do? And he says, I work in sports. And she just is like, oh, he's a really fit guy. Maybe he's like an agent or something, or he like works for like a team. She's like not into sports. So she just is like, okay. But then she goes to his house.
Yeah, I was certainly putting two and two together. Like,
I would, and like this, like, he has like a very big contract. It's brought up a few times, like how he has this like crazy contract. So let's say he's making like $12 million a year. Again, I don't know anything about Vancouver real estate, but I'm assuming that that's very good for Vancouver. But like, he's like living in like New York City.
Yeah.
And she like doesn't like question again, like,
so what do you do? Again, like, even if
I would like walk in and be like, your house is beautiful. Like, wait, like, I know you said you work in sports, but like, what is it that you do?
Yeah, like, come again? Like,
yeah, like, what exactly is your job?
Like, can I get it too?
That's like a normal question to
like,
ask somebody that you've been dating for a while, that you've
vague.
introduced your kid to as well. Like, at that point, it's not like you're like, oh, like, this man has money. Like, what do you do? Like, hi. Yeah. You said you worked in sports. Like, I thought maybe you were like, I don't know, an athletic trainer. Like,
or
that
like,
could mean
or a
anything.
personal trainer. Like, anybody.
That can be like, you are an equipment manager, which again, like, I'm sure these people do make really good, not that kind of money.
I can tell you right now, an athletic trainer does not make that much money.
Maybe for a professional sports team, but no, not that. No. I'm saying they probably make.
Well, unless you are the head athletic trainer of a fucking professional team, I can tell you right now, I knew someone that worked for the New York Jets who was an assistant athletic trainer back in 2015. They were making $38,000 a year.
So go scratch.
And you are working 24/7. There is no off days. Yeah, and that's why I don't work in the profession anymore.
So I don't know. So I do agree that at first it made sense for him to not tell her right away.
Yes.
But then like the second that he like met, see, that's the thing too. I'm not a parent yet, but I feel like the second he met her kid, like, you stop lying. Because like now that the kid's involved and the kid's getting attached,
that
like,
was a serious move from one parent. Give me a serious move back, or like at least like.
And she's only ever been like, obviously, like, she's not famous or like has the same issues.
No, but she's been very open about what she's been going through.
Yeah, but she's been like very open. And then she has to find, again, like, it kind of makes you feel stupid too.
Makes
like,
you feel really dumb.
When like your friends are like, wait, you don't know who that is? Like, he didn't tell you. And then she searches him and then sees that, like, the
ex-girlfriend.
His ex-girlfriend. And then again, all of like the paparazzi shots of him on dates with like random other like beautiful women.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm a mom. Like, she still has like a postpartum body, I think, is like kind of like how she describes herself. I think she had a C-section.
C-section.
So she's like not feeling great about herself. And then she sees him out with all these like, I don't know,
beautifully aesthetic women.
Not that, right, like aesthetically, like, I guess like what you would say is like a picture perfect girl. I'm putting that in quotes because like just because you've had a C-section or had a child, your body is still beautiful. I haven't had a child, but I've had a C-section.
I had a C-section and a child.
Yeah.
So we all get it here.
I understand that your body looks a lot different. And that
shit
the scar,
does not just go back to the way it was beforehand. So I understand, and like, there doesn't make me any less beautiful than Giselle. I'm obviously way more beautiful than all the supermodels combined. So I wasn't saying it in that way. But I understand, like, as a girl feeling insecure. If I
and comparing yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I look at pictures of my old self and I compare myself. So like I can only imagine seeing like someone like if my husband's ex-girlfriend was a fucking beautiful like model, I'd be like, great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fucking hide in the corner.
I'd be like, are you sure you like
you sure
me?
you like this? You
Tell
like
me everything you like about me right now. Yeah. Anyway, Becca writes really good spice. Like in all 3 books, the spice is really good. I felt okay, so I've said this before with other books too. That when the male main character is like super duper super like loving and cinnamon rolly and golden retrievery, it's a little weird for him to all of a sudden just be like extra dirty in the bedroom. Like, yeah, it made sense for Carter and Garrett to be like that,
but not.
But like Adam, like I feel like he would be more like sensual and he would be more like I make love, like. And then he started getting dirty, and I was like, I don't think Adam would say these things.
He's a nice boy.
He's not that you can't be a nice boy and also be dirty, but he just didn't give me the vibe.
He didn't give me dirty boy vibes. No, I'm with that.
Yeah. I did love in the beginning how he like goes to the girls for advice and they have like their really little like group chat
and they change the name of everything.
Yes.
It's so fucking good.
And they give him spicy audiobooks and they're like, listen to these. This is
I love how what's his face, the old man's and like Hank's and like the group chats with them for this and like is at the meeting. Yeah. Because he listens to the two who's like his last pick.
I love him. I love him.
That's adorable. He's like, I'm blind, not deaf.
Yeah. He's so fucking cute. And I love, like, in all of the books, the found family trope, like, with the other boys and, like, with their, like, wives and girlfriends. It's
cute.
It's really cute. Okay, so I think I said this. I think we were talking about this the other day when you first started. I love Carter and Consider Me.
He's annoying in this book. So fucking annoying. I want to push him in the fucking pool and pull his head out of water.
He almost feels like a caricature of himself in this book. He's like almost like too silly.
Yeah.
Like the TikToks in the locker. Again, like I mean, like I wish that like my team did. I think it'd be like cute and like funny, but like at the same time, like I feel like he just like the shirts.
Yeah.
That man is not. I'm sorry.
It was just, I don't know.
You know how no. If you've listened to this at all, you know that I have an issue when authors put females in like bad graphic tees that say like, oh, like not before coffee and like shit like that. Like listen, we're millennials. I hate like that millennial humor. Like, I'm gonna offend like some people, but like tchotchkes like in your house that it's like, I don't know, like
all the signs.
You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, oh, like cookies for I don't fucking know. I'm just I don't have any, so I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm trying to think what my mom has in her house.
Like just offending her mother.
Like I don't know, like oh, like my dog's like oh, like okay, a mug that my aunt got me that's like this coffee's like 30% cat hair. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but I'm enjoying you trying to come up with the saying.
Why am I having live, laugh, love? I don't know. I'm trying to come up.
Like unattended children will be given a puppy and a cookie.
Thank you. Okay,
my grandma has that sign.
See, I knew there was something with dogs and cookies. I was like, there's something with cookies. Okay,
right. I was really enjoying watching this.
Carter wearing like the hot dilf and like all those like graphic-y tees.
If Tom wore a hot dilf t-shirt, like that's funny for in the house, or if we're going to like a family party. But like if he was like trying to walk outside like that, and
like going to like practice in it, like. I was like, Carter, you're supposed to be hot. That's not hot. That's cringe.
So cringe.
Garrett would never. My angel, my boy. I did like I said it before, the introduction of Jackson. So she was going to, I guess, like edit and like rewrite. She wrote a baseball romance. And if you're in her Facebook group, she kind of like posted a blurb a few months ago. I'm very intrigued by it. The baseball player, I think he's like a first baseman. I don't know. He's there again. Baseball, I don't know. He's on the field. He like sees the girl in the stands, and like they're kind of like he's kind of like flirt. I don't know. Whatever. It sounded good. That was supposed to be her next book, but
is she?
She's gonna do Jackson next.
Oh, that's exciting.
I know. I'm excited. And she did message me, and she said that I was like talking to her about Garrett. She's like, just wait till you meet Jackson because he might end up being your, she'll give you like Garrett.
Garrett was my favorite.
Yeah, so Jackson, you do get a little insight into what his story will be at the end with Lennon, who is the new social media girl for the team.
Cool name.
And he like wants to get her attention, and she's just like, ew. And I love it already. And she posted a teaser. I think she may have posted it to her stories too, but I know that's definitely in her group. And I know that they like have sex like very early on, and I think that like Lennon is just like, oh God, what did I do? And like Jackson's like, I'm in love. So I think it's gonna be a lot of that. That's like amazing. Him being like, because he's a player.
Yes.
So I think it's gonna be like he gets a little taste, he falls, and she's like, get this boy away from me. And he's gonna have to chase her. And that's what I'm hoping. I don't really know. That's just like,
but I would love a good chase.
Yeah. So I know that's coming next, I think sometime in 2024. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Unravel. I really just rambled about like hockey and things that didn't have anything to do with this book. Adam does have the biggest dick on the team. That's confirmed.
That is confirmed.
And again, though, how big?
Because 9. Yeah. 9 inches. He says it in the beginning of the book.
Yeah, but I feel like... Okay, do you remember that TikTok? It was going a while ago. It was like kind of popular a while ago. And it was a girl, and she had the tape measure.
Yeah, oh, no, maybe I don't.
And she was like, most girls are only getting like this much. And then she's like, maybe this. And she's like, and then like, she's like pain, hospital. Like 9 inches. It's okay. It's everyone's always like, oh, my dick's like 9 inches, my dick's 8 inches, whatever. Like in all these books, like I have a 12-inch cock. Good for you. First of all, go to a doctor.
What are you on?
But it's more about girth. Like they didn't ever talk about girth.
True. Is it like a pencil fucking thin thing? Because you can't feel that.
And there's like a lot of times like, oh, I couldn't even wrap my whole hand around it. I'm sorry. Is this how girthy your dick is? Again, go see a doctor. That's not normal. That you have a problem.
What are you taking?
Can you put your mouth around that? Sorry, I'm like showing the camera. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Let's write men with normal, nice sized dicks. Okay? Because I would run screaming.
And talk about the fucking girth.
If you tell me you have a 9-inch dick and that I can't even wrap my hand around it, and then you expect that to fit in what holes? I'm running for the hills.
Yeah, I'm saying, you know what? This is great. But
I know we have a connection, but I don't think this is going to work out.
No, we're not going to really connect, if you know what I'm saying.
Anyway, we did put our schedule out on Instagram. So next week we're doing Spilling the Tea, then Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. If you have more than 2 names, I feel like I'm like panting by the time I get that out. Then another Spilling the Tea, and then A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer.
Say that.
Whatever. That's it. So Spilling the Tea, Out on a Limb, Spilling the Tea, A Curse So Dark and Lonely. We are going to a Defy the Night event with the author the week before, so we'll be recapping that event during the Curse So Dark and Lonely episode. That's it.
I think that's it also.
Well, if that is it then, Katie, sign us out.